The story of Israel begins with its land, a bridge between Africa, Asia, and Europe. This crossroads made it a prize for empires and a meeting place for cultures. Egyptians, Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians all fought to control this vital corridor. The land's geography shaped its destiny, making it a stage for world-changing events. Known as Canaan, Judea, Palestine, and the Holy Land, each name reflects a chapter of its story. From the green hills of Galilee to the Negev desert, the landscape is as varied as its history. The Jordan River and the Dead Sea are not just features, they're the backdrop for legendary tales. Abraham, David, and Jesus all walked these lands, making the geography inseparable from the story. Jericho, one of the world's oldest cities, stands as proof of early civilization here. The Canaanites built cities and traded, setting the stage for the arrival of the Israelites. This land's importance was not just military or economic, it became a spiritual center. Here, the idea of one God, monotheism, was born, changing human history forever. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all trace their roots to this soil. Billions today see this land as sacred, its hills and cities holy. The land's spiritual significance has made it a place of both inspiration and conflict. For thousands of years, people have fought for control, not just for power, but for faith. The land is more than a prize, it's a symbol, a promise, and a battleground of beliefs. Its story is one of survival, faith, and the meeting of civilizations. The echoes of ancient footsteps still shape its destiny. This is where the epic of Israel begins. The land itself is a character, timeless, contested, and revered. Its story is far from over. The Crossroads of Civilizations remains as vital as ever. The Jewish story is rooted in this land, beginning with Abraham's journey to Canaan. God's promise to Abraham and his descendants became the foundation of the Jewish covenant. Jacob, renamed Israel, fathered 12 sons, the tribes that formed a nation. Enslaved in Egypt, the Israelites returned under Moses, a journey remembered as the Exodus. King David made Jerusalem the capital, and Solomon built the first temple, the heart of Jewish worship. After Solomon, the kingdom split, weakening the nation and inviting conquest. Centuries later, Jesus of Nazareth preached a message of love and salvation, inspiring a new faith, Christianity. Jerusalem became holy to Christians, as the site of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. In the 7th century, Islam arrived. Muslims believe in the same God and honor prophets like Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Muhammad's night journey to Jerusalem made the city sacred in Islam, and the Dome of the Rock was built on the Temple Mount. Three great religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, share this land as holy. Their stories are intertwined, making Jerusalem a spiritual center for billions. The land's legacy is not just in ancient texts, but in the living faiths of people around the world. Its sacred sites draw pilgrims and inspire devotion. The idea of one God born here changed the course of history. This small land became the heart of world religions. Its spiritual power endures, shaping lives and destinies. The story of monotheism began here, and its influence is still felt everywhere. The land's holiness is both a blessing and a source of conflict. After the Jewish kingdoms, the land fell under the rule of powerful empires. The Romans arrived in 63 BC, crushing Jewish revolts and destroying the Second Temple. Most Jews were exiled, beginning the long diaspora. The land became part of the Christian Byzantine Empire, then was conquered by Muslim armies in the 7th century. Jerusalem became a center for Christian pilgrims, and later a holy city in Islam. The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque rose on the Temple Mount. In the 11th century, crusaders from Europe seized Jerusalem, sparking brutal wars. Muslim leader Saladin reclaimed the city, and control shifted among Muslim dynasties. Centuries of conflict left the land scarred, and its population diminished. In 1517, the Ottoman Empire took control, ruling for 400 years. The Ottomans rebuilt Jerusalem's walls and allowed Jews and Christians to practice their faiths. Yet the region became a neglected province, its importance fading in the eyes of the empire. The land's long decline set the stage for dramatic change in the modern era. Empires came and went, but the land's spiritual and historical significance endured. Its cities and ruins held memories of ancient glory and loss. The crossroads of faith and empire would soon become a battleground for new dreams. The next chapter would be written by those who longed to return. The land was waiting for a people's return. For centuries, Jews dreamed of returning to their ancestral land. In the late 1800s, this hope became a movement, Zionism. Theodor Herzl called for a Jewish homeland, and Jews from around the world began to immigrate to Palestine. Pioneers built new farms, towns, and revived the Hebrew language. Tel Aviv rose from sand dunes and Hebrew became the language of daily life. Jewish immigration transformed the land, but also created tension with local Arabs. World War I changed everything. The British captured Palestine and issued the Balfour Declaration, supporting a Jewish national home. Britain was given a mandate to govern, setting the stage for conflict between Jewish and Arab aspirations. The dream of return was now a political reality. The land was no longer just a memory, it was becoming a nation in the making. The struggle for a homeland intensified. The seeds of modern Israel were sown in hope, hardship, and determination. The land's ancient promise was awakening. A new chapter was about to begin. Under British rule, Jewish immigration surged, especially as Jews fled Nazi persecution. The growing Jewish community built the foundations of a future state, but tensions with Arabs escalated into violence. Britain, unable to resolve the conflict, handed the issue to the United Nations. In 1947, the UN proposed partitioning Palestine into Jewish and Arab states. Jews accepted, Arabs rejected. The UN vote sparked immediate fighting. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the State of Israel. The next day, 5 Arab armies invaded. Israel fought for survival in a brutal war. By 1949, Israel had expanded its territory beyond the UN plan. For Israelis, it was a war of independence. For Palestinians, the Nakba, a catastrophe and mass displacement. The conflict created deep wounds and a refugee crisis that endures. Israel's birth was both triumph and tragedy. The struggle for the land was far from over. A new nation had emerged, but peace remained elusive. Surrounded by hostile neighbors, Israel's early years were marked by war and uneasy truces. The 1956 Suez Crisis and the 1967 Six-Day War reshaped the region. Israel captured Sinai, Gaza, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. The capture of Jerusalem's Old City was a moment of profound emotion for Jews worldwide. In 1973, the Yom Kippur War shocked Israel, proving its vulnerability. The cost of war led to a search for peace. In 1977, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat visited Jerusalem, opening the door to negotiations. The 1979 peace treaty with Egypt was a historic breakthrough. Israel returned Sinai, and Egypt recognized Israel. In 1994, Israel signed a peace treaty with Jordan. These agreements brought hope, but the conflict with the Palestinians remained unresolved. Security and peace became Israel's central challenges. The cycle of war and negotiation defined the nation's path. Each conflict left scars, but also opportunities for dialogue. The quest for security shaped Israel's identity and politics. The hope for lasting peace endures even as new threats emerge. The search continues. Israel's history is shaped by visionary leaders. David Ben-Gurion, the founding father, led the fight for independence and built the state's foundations. Golda Meir, Israel's first female prime minister, guided the nation through crisis and war. Yitzhak Rabin, a soldier turned peacemaker, signed the Oslo Accords with the Palestinians, earning a Nobel Peace Prize. Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving prime minister, focused on security, economic growth, and new regional alliances. These leaders faced impossible choices in war and peace. Their decisions shaped the nation's destiny. Israel's story is one of resilience, vision, and leadership. The challenges they faced remain today. The future will demand new leadership and courage. Modern Israel is a blend of ancient tradition and cutting-edge innovation. Jerusalem's holy sites stand alongside Tel Aviv's skyscrapers and beaches. Israel's society is a mosaic. Jews from around the world, a large Arab minority, and many other groups. The country is a global leader in technology, known as the startup nation. Its culture thrives. Music, literature, film, and food reflect its diversity. Daily life is shaped by both creativity and security concerns. The unresolved conflict with the Palestinians remains a central challenge. Military service is a rite of passage, and security is always on people's minds. Despite tensions, hope for peace persists. Israelis continue to build, innovate, and dream. The nation's spirit is defined by resilience and possibility. Today, Israel stands as a nation of contrasts, ancient and modern, divided yet resilient. It has built a strong democracy, a powerful economy, and become a leader in science and technology. Israel has made peace with some neighbors, but the conflict with the Palestinians remains unresolved. Internally, society is divided, religious and secular, Jews and Arabs, old and new immigrants. The debate over Israel's identity, Jewish, democratic, or both, continues. On the world stage, Israel's alliances and controversies shape its future. The Abraham Accords have opened new doors, but international criticism persists. Israel's story is one of survival, innovation, and ongoing struggle. The land remains holy to billions, its fate watched by the world. The challenges of peace, security, and unity are as urgent as ever. The next chapter depends on the wisdom and courage of its people. Israel's epic story is unfinished. Its future is still being written.